I love that PlayStation startup sound. Aloha everybody, it is I, the Great Clements, and ladies and gentlemen, today I am tackling a very fantastic PlayStation platformer that kind of gets overlooked among the big name kind of characters, you know? People know that the Crash Bandicoot games were good, people know that the Spyro games are good, and even though Pac-Man is a gaming icon, I think most people are familiar with the old arcade game than they are his platformers. I mean, I'm sure some people enjoy the Pac-Man World Series, but since Smash Bros. Came out not too long ago, and Pac-Man happens to be one of the new fighters in it, this got me all excited to play Pac-Man World again. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are for the PlayStation, the 20th anniversary game, Pac-Man World. It is a 3D platformer, but it does have some mazes and some very classic Pac-Man style stuff going on as well. In the top right, you can actually play the original Pac-Man in this disc. Classic mode is the original Pac-Man. But we're going to go to Quest. We're going to go to the levels.
No, you idiots! I wanted gold streamers and red balloons! The DJ stinks, the banners are crooked, and the cake should be chocolate! You're gonna ruin my party!
Boss!
What do you want?
Pac-Man's here on Ghost Island! The Pac-Man! I mean that pathetic fool trying badly, I might add, to impersonate you, who is clearly the real Pac-Man.
I thought you had captured Pac-Man!
We did see. Oops.
If I had a power
A
pellet,
slight error on our part. Believe me, it won't happen again.
You idiots! My plans are already in motion! Pac-Man cannot be allowed to crash my party! Find him and destroy him!
ghost just shoved Ms. Pac-Man back in the bag. Like, oh, no, back you go. We don't need you anymore. We had to prove to Toc-Man that we got the wrong person. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is Pac-Man World for the Sony PlayStation. And again, it's not so centered around the mazes. It's pretty much a platformer that just happens to star Pac-Man. I mean, it's got lots of jumping. It's got lots of special abilities. Pac-Man doesn't just walk and jump. He has to collect a whole bunch of fruit in order to traverse through the area, in order to unlock doors, in order to find certain items, and he needs to save all of his friends and family because they have been kidnapped by the ghosts and the big bad Toc-Man, who is this giant, robotic, evil version of Pac-Man that is just throwing a kick-ass party here on Ghost Island, but, you know, you're not supposed to kidnap people in order to enjoy the party, guys. You know, Pac-Man had a party going on, too. It was his 20th. It said so on the banner. Now, I don't know if that means Pac-Man is 20 years old, or if he's just, you know, he's been chomping at ghosts for 20 years. I don't know what exactly they were celebrating, but this game did happen to be the 20th anniversary anyway, so, you know. Quite the time, quite the time. But anywho, this tutorial level is basically showing all the basics of Pac-Man. Right now you're looking at the butt bounce. Obviously you jump, you push the X button again, which is the jump button, and Pac-Man will bounce directly underneath whatever he is jumping above, right? And you can use it to bounce on these trampolines so that they bounce you all the way to where you need to go. And that's always fun, especially when you have to time the jumps so that you don't overshoot and stuff. The butt bounce is pretty much the go-to ability to open chests, to defeat all kinds of enemies. And right now we are Metal Pac-Man. Game's rushing really quickly. This is the tutorial level. It's introducing all the basics. But Pac-Man can swim. And when he swims, he's buoyant. He can't really bounce in water. Like, if there's a chest underneath water, he can't bounce on it because he'll just sort of float in it and he'll get stuck in it. And that's why when you're Metal Pac-Man, you have the ability to bounce on chests and open them up and get items from those underwater chests. Here we're looking at the rev roll. By holding the square button down, Pac-Man will start kicking and revving. And when you let go, he will zoom very far like a ball. And it allows him to go up steep hills, and it allows him to destroy enemies that way. So he's got something in common with Sonic the Hedgehog. Look at that momentum. I mean, it's not that good or anything, but it's still a fantastic ability. You also use it for these little pads here, because every time you're on some kind of spinny contraption, if you're rev rolling and Pac-Man is constantly running in place on that spinny contraption, it'll do something. It'll make these platforms move. It'll open gates. It'll make other platforms come down to you. You know, it always depends on the level, but so that's what the rev roll is for. The good news is, if you start rev rolling and then you decided, like, oh, I didn't want to do that, like, I don't want to zoom really, really far in this kind of area. There's nothing but bottomless pit here. It's all small ledges. If you jump in the middle of a rev roll, Pac-Man will get out of it just fine. So even if you accidentally push square, you can get out of it no problem. So this game has a typical lives system. There are all kinds of health power-ups for Pac-Man to pick up. You are allowed 4 hits of damage in Pac-Man World. Your health bar is basically in the face of the classic Pac-Man avatar, you know, the half-eaten pie. The half-eaten yellow pie that we all come to be familiar with. But you get hit 3 times, all of those yellow pieces go away, and then if you get hit a 4th time, then that's it for Pac-Man. He takes a dive, and then you have to go back to a previous checkpoint, of which there are many, and you'll see it's always like a Pac-Man symbol. You walk up to the Pac-Man symbol, it'll tell you, hey, you got a checkpoint, and then anytime you die, you'll spawn right from that place. But there's also just like yellow pie kind of items where it's just a triangle, and that'll refill 1 unit of health for you. But if you find an entire Pac-Man symbol, that is actually an extra life. So there's all kinds of extra lives to find, and there's all kinds of extra lives to win in slot machines, because collecting the fruit and then making it to the end of the stage gets you a lot of chances to get extra lives. And the things move pretty slowly that if you just sort of be patient with it, you can easily get like a life each time. Mario Brothers 2, this ain't. The slot machine goes by a lot slower than you would expect it to. Honestly, though, I am going to be skipping that for most of the time. Like, at any point, I can use the slot machines with the circle button and try and get extra lives, but I'm quite familiar with this game. I like to think that I'm the great Clement, and therefore I am a competent game player, a badass, if you will. So I'm not going to be using that ability, the slot machine. I'm not going to be using that slot machine all that much because I'll be finding lives along the way. Simply having bonus points from collecting all the fruit, all the pack pellets, etc. And that'll give me all the lives I need, really. So this is Ghost Island, ladies and gentlemen, the first level we were immediately dropped into, but here is the hub world, essentially. We can only go to a certain point, and we're expected to beat all the levels so that we can progress further. But there's all kinds of areas, and you can actually tackle which ones you want to do in whatever order you want. I could keep doing the pirate level, or I can move on to the cave kind of level, or I can move on to the spaceship kind level, and in case I'm getting bored of the scenery. But I'm going to stick with the pirate level just because it's a nice introductory kind of location. And, yeah. But either way, this entire game, Pac-Man World, is pretty much 2.5D for the most part. I mean, there's still a 3D perspective, there is still a kind of 3D landscape, but the thing is about usually every level, not all, but usually every level, the camera angle is always focused on just one side, right? Like, you're always going to be facing this wall. The camera will always be facing this wall. You can't move the camera at all. There's no way to use the L1, R1, L2, R2 buttons to shift the camera. So we're always looking at this side of the room. And there shouldn't be a bottomless pit if you go down towards the camera. Here we have traditional ghosts. You can defeat all kinds of enemies in Pac-Man World. You see kind of skeletons, you can butt bounce into them, you can rev roll into them and destroy them no problem. But just like the classic Pac-Man, if you see a ghost, well, they're ghosts. They're already dead, technically. So how do you defeat a ghost? Whoop, I wasn't supposed to do that. I was supposed to take the doorway, but I bounced too high. You know, with ghosts, you can't touch them. That's how it was in the old Pac-Man. You touch the ghost, you get hurt. You die. Ghosts are not one-hit kill like they were in the original Pac-Man, but they still will take off 1 unit of health, so you don't want to run into them. You can only take them out by finding a power pellet, and they're usually surrounded or next to a whole bunch of other pellets. If there's a ghost in the area, chances are there are going to be pellets in the area as well. So in terms of item collection for this game, there is a percentage for the amount of items you find, and the only thing I'm really shooting for each level is I will be getting all of the Pac-Man letters. I will be looking out for all of the mazes, because there are unlockable mazes in each stage. And you do need to find all of your family members. And the one knock against Pac-Man World, it is a 2000 PlayStation game, so it's a little primitive, but you can't reach the final boss, Toc-Man, unless you have found all of Pac-Man's family. And it's not enough just to find the family members themselves. You also have to find a key in one of the levels, and then use that key to free your family member. And there isn't really a checklist system, kind of like Banjo-Kazooie or something. You can't push pause and see like, oh, I'm missing set amount of items from this level. You're just supposed to kind of know that you're missing a family member. Where could it be? I don't know. You better go play the whole entire game in order to find them again. And that's kind of the one knock I would have about it, is that when you get to the final boss, you feel like you're just about to finish the game, and oh sorry, Pac-Man, you didn't rescue your dog. You didn't rescue Pac Jr. You didn't rescue old Grandpa Pac-Man. I don't know these characters' names. They all look like Pac-Man. Can you really blame me? I mean, for God's sake, their entire character design is Pac-Man, but something different. Oh, it's Pac-Man, but he has a bow. That's Ms. Pac-Man. Brilliant! Brilliant. Oh, it's Pac-Man, but he's smaller and he has a kid's hat. Boom! Pac Jr. Brilliant! Let's just give Pac-Man a mustache and, like, a scholarly hat. And then boom! Grandpa Pac-Man, or Dad Pac-Man. I don't know what Pac-Man he is to Pac-Man. Yeah, I know what I said. I don't know what Pac-Man pack to pack. How much pack could a Pac-Man pack if a Pac-Man could pack? Huh? Those are the rhetorical questions you should be asking yourself, ladies and gentlemen. But needless to say, there are a key and a pack friend in each world. So in the pirate level, if you haven't found the pack friend, you probably need to find the key or the pack friend, and or both. And then you'll know that, like, okay, this world is clear. If you found a friend in one particular world, you don't need to find anything else there. So once again, in terms of item completion, I'll be getting all the mazes. I will be getting all the Pac-Man letters. Not Pam. Pac-Man! And, yeah. But there's a lot to cover with Pac-Man World, so we'll see everything that needs to be seen. But, my history with Pac-Man. So I don't plan on doing a playthrough of the original Pac-Man on account of it's an old 80s arcade game that's pretty basic, and I'll probably play the original at some point in one of these videos, since it is unlockable in the game. Well, not even unlockable. It's up front, right from the get-go. I like the fact that you don't need a memory card, you don't need anything. The minute you boot up Pac-Man World, you can just go into classic mode and play the original Pac-Man, which is always swell. Pac-Man World 2 even did that one better by having, like, all kinds of unlockable Pac-Man games. Sort of like Sonic Adventure DX. In Pac-Man World 2, you'd find all these tokens, and, like, you would unlock more arcade games the more tokens you collected. So eventually you get, like, Pac-Attack and Pac-Mania and Ms. Pac-Man and, pretty sure there's another one. But that's great, because, like, the only Pac games I really bought were the Pac-Man World games. I haven't played 3, but I did play 1 and 2, and thanks to 1 and 2, I got to experience Pac-Mania and Pac-Attack and stuff, and that's how I got familiar with this franchise. Pac-Man is not usually my go-to series. I wouldn't go like, oh yeah, you have to play all the Pac-Man games. Ghostly Adventures is the shit! I haven't played Ghostly Adventures. I don't know if Ghostly Adventures is good or not. But, you know, I just wanted to say, I like Pac-Man World quite a bit. I would put this up there with the Spyros and the Crash Bandicoots. I think this is a really solid platformer, and I hope people enjoy it. The soundtrack is fantastic as well. The soundtrack is done by Tommy Tallarico of Reviews on the Run, Judgment Day, Video Games Live fame. It has such a high, peppy energy. The title screen, I don't know if you noticed when we started this game up. Oh man, the title screen is so good. That song is so damn good. But anyway, this is the maze of this level. There's a maze in each level, and you can actually access the mazes from the main menu after you unlock them. So if for some reason you don't like the platforming, if you only like traditional Pac-Man with the ghosts and the mazes, you can totally play Pac-Man World like that. You can just unlock the mazes and then play them in order. There's even like an option to play them in order, like a marathon. So I like that. But, you know, there's always an unlockable maze in each world, and it's basically as simple as that, you know. Dodge the ghosts will hurt you. It's not like original Pac-Man when you're in the mazes. Like, you might think it's a little bit different because, like, in the platforming sections, yeah, they'd only take off 1 unit of health. But since I'm in the mazes, they must kill you in 1 hit, right? Not true. You still have the same kind of life and health system in the mazes, so it's a little bit easier for people who suck at Pac-Man. If you run into a ghost, you just lose 1 unit of health. And if all the ghosts hit you enough, you'll lose a life, but you'll still respawn in the maze. And if you have like 20 lives from collecting them in the actual platforming levels, you'll have 20 chances in that one particular maze. So you won't lose the maze, you won't be kicked out of the maze until you've lost all of your lives. But you don't want to lose your lives, because this game can get a little bit challenging near the end, you know? Whoa. Pac-Man's twitching out! Can't hang on to the boat! The vines I'm walking on would normally hurt me, but besides the fact that Metal Pac-Man can walk underwater... Oh, there's the key I need to save my friend. Do not miss that. They don't tell you there's a key in this particular level, but I'm telling you, you need that key in order to save one of Pac-Man's friends later. It's very easy to miss. You need 2 items in order to save your friend. Well, not 2 items, you only need 1, but you need 2 items in order to reach the final boss. Well, technically you need 12, because you need to find all 6 of your friends, and you need to find all 6 keys in order to unlock those friends, but you know what I mean! The only thing this game needed was a checklist, that's all it needed. All it had to say was like, there's a key in this level, there's a friend in this level, go find it. So like push pause to see checklist. If it had that, it would be totally fine, but it doesn't, so you're just supposed to know. And surprisingly, there's only 1 guide on GameFAQs right now. This game's so old, it's been around since 2000, and there's only 1 guide on game FAQs. I found that weird. Because I played the hell out of this when I was a kid, you know, I really enjoyed this one. It made me a fan of Pac-Man, it made me want to buy Pac-Man World 2, and it made me enjoy the character. I mean, there's nothing to him, he's just a yellow, bald guy who has a serious drug addiction problem. He loves the pellets, man, but Pac-Man World is fun. I hope you stick with it, folks. I will see you in part 2. The fun's only just begun. Till then.